Question 49. Which feature of Amazon RDS facilitates better database availability? And the options are A. Periodic snapshots, B. Multi-AZ, C. Read replicas, D. Data encryption. And the correct answer is option B. Multi-AZ. Explanation. In an Amazon RDS multi-AZ deployment, Amazon RDS automatically creates a primary database instance and synchronously replicates the data to an instance in a different AZ. When it detects a failure, Amazon RDS automatically fails over to a standby instance without manual intervention. Option A is incorrect. Periodic snapshots used for the backups. Option C is incorrect. The read replica operates as a DB instance that allows only read-only connections. This improves the DB scalability but not the availability. Option D is incorrect. Amazon RDS can encrypt your Amazon RDS DB instances. Data that is encrypted at rest includes the underlying storage for DB instances, its automated backups, read replicas, and snapshots. Next question. A client who has adopted the AWS cloud wanted to ensure that their systems deliver continuous business value and improve supporting processes and procedures. What is the design pillar that they should focus on to achieve this goal? And the options are A. Reliability, B. Scalability, C. Automation, D. Operational excellence. And the correct answer is option D. Operational excellence. Explanation. Continuous business value is achieved with the ability to monitor existing running systems and improve processes and procedures by managing and automating changes. For example, in response to saturation in CPU uses of an EC2 instance, a monitoring system like CloudWatch will automatically trigger the creation of a new instance through alarms. This will ensure that the system's capacity meets changing load demands. This is a part of the operational excellence pillar of the AWS well-architected framework, which focuses on running and monitoring systems to deliver business value. Option A is incorrect, since the reliability pillar focuses on the ability of the system to recover from infrastructure or service failures. Option B is incorrect, since scalability is a byproduct of monitoring solutions that provide the capability for infrastructure resources to cope with the increase or decrease of capacity by adding or terminating resources when not needed. Option C is incorrect, since automation is the ability to induce certain systematic requirements like scalability, auto-recovery using monitoring solutions. It helps in improving systems stability and efficiency of an organization. Next question. A large IT company wants its users to be able to access their Linux desktops from anywhere. Which AWS service can be used for this purpose? And the options are A. Amazon Cognito, B. Amazon AppStream 2.0, C. Amazon Workspaces, D. Amazon WorkLink. And the correct answer is option C. Amazon Workspaces. Explanation. Amazon Workspaces provides a secure managed service for virtual desktops for remote users. It supports both Windows and Linux-based virtual desktops for a large number of users. Option A is incorrect, as Amazon Cognito can be used to control access to AWS resources from an application. Option B is incorrect, as Amazon AppStream 2.0 can be used to provide access to applications or a non-persistent desktop from any location. Option D is incorrect, as Amazon WorkLink can be used by internal employees to securely access internal websites and applications using mobile phones. Next question. Your company has a custom application running inside their on-premise data center. There are some unresolved bugs in the application, and the application generates a lot of data inside custom log files, which is very time-consuming to analyze. You want to move the application to AWS using EC2 instances. You also want to take the opportunity to improve logging and monitoring capabilities, but without affecting the application code. What AWS service should you use to fulfill the requirement? And the options are A. AWS Kinesis Data Streams, B. AWS Cloud Trail, C. AWS CloudWatch Logs, D. AWS Application Logs. And the correct answer is option C. AWS CloudWatch Logs. Explanation. AWS CloudWatch Logs has the capability to reuse existing application logs, increasing efficiency in operation with the ability to generate on them metrics, alerts, and analytics with AWS CloudWatch Logs inside. The application and custom log files are exactly as they were when the application was running on-prem. So, you don't need to change any piece of application code that makes them ingestible by AWS CloudWatch Logs. AWS official documentation in the FAQ section highlights the reusing capability with the sentence, AWS CloudWatch Logs lets you monitor and troubleshoot your systems and applications using your existing system, application, and custom log files. So, no code changes are required. You can also leverage CloudWatch metrics, alarms, and dashboards with logs to get full operational visibility into your applications. This empowers you to understand your applications, make improvements, and find problems quickly. Thus, you can continue to innovate rapidly. Option A is incorrect because in order to feed data streams from custom logs, you have to change the application code. AWS documentation describes this with the following sentence. To put data into the stream, you must specify the name of the stream, a partition key, and the data blob to be added to the stream. Option B is incorrect because it is not related to the scenario and custom log files. Option D is incorrect because AWS application logs does not exist. Next question. A research firm is planning to deploy a high-performance computing system in AWS Cloud for its scientific research work. What support service would be appropriate to assist the firm in the deployment process? And the options are A. AWS support, B. AWS managed services, C. AWS IQ, D. AWS professional services. And the correct answer is option D. AWS professional services. Explanation. AWS Professional Services is a global team of experts which provides assistance for deploying high-performance computing system using various services in AWS Cloud. This team of experts work along with the customer team in achieving goals for business needs by adopting best practices within AWS Cloud. Option A is incorrect, as AWS support helps customers to get quick support from AWS support personnel for any queries on AWS resources or products. Option B is incorrect, as AWS managed services can be used to operate AWS infrastructure in a secure and optimized way. Option C is incorrect, as AWS IQ engages a freelance AWS expert to help customers in any project related to AWS Cloud. Next question. Which of the following features of AWS RDS allows you to reduce the load on the database while reading data? And the options are A. Cross-region replication, B. Creating read replicas, C. Using snapshots, D. Using multi-AZ feature. And the correct answer is option B. Creating read replicas. Explanation. You can reduce the load on your source DB instance by routing read queries from your applications to the read replica. Read replicas allow you to elastically scale out beyond the capacity constraints of a single DB instance for read-heavy database workloads. Option A is incorrect. RDS cross-region replication used as a back for disaster recovery. Option C is incorrect. Amazon RDS creates a storage volume snapshot of your DB instance, backing up the entire DB instance and not just individual databases. Option D is incorrect. Multi-AZ deployments leveraged for high availability. In an Amazon RDS multi-AZ deployment, Amazon RDS automatically creates a primary database instance and synchronously replicates the data to an instance in a different AZ. When it detects a failure, Amazon RDS automatically fails over to a standby instance without manual intervention. Next question. Your company noticed that some of the EC2 instances in production were terminated. The company security team needs to know which user was responsible for terminating the EC2 instances. Where would they find this information? And the options are A. Amazon CloudWatch, B. AWS Cloud Trail Logs, C. AWS Config, D. AWS Inspector. And the correct answer is option B. AWS Cloud Trail Logs. Explanation. Using CloudTrail, one can monitor all the API activity conducted on all AWS services. AWS CloudTrail is a service that enables governance, compliance, operational auditing, and risk auditing of your AWS account and risk auditing of your AWS account. With CloudTrail, you can log, continuously monitor, and retain account activity related to action across your AWS infrastructure. CloudTrail provides event history of your AWS account activity, including actions taken through the AWS Management Console, AWS SDKs, command line tools, and other AWS services. This event history simplifies security analysis, resource change tracking, and troubleshooting. Other options are incorrect, as CloudTrail is the best suited for this requirement. Next question. Select the service that can be used to download AWS security and compliance documents. And the options are A. AWS Artifact, B. AWS Trusted Advisor, C. AWS Inspector, D. AWS Well-Architected Tool. And the correct answer is option A. AWS Artifact. Explanation. AWS Artifact is a self-service audit artifact retrieval portal that provides AWS or customers with on-demand access to AWS compliance documentation and AWS agreements. You can use AWS Artifact reports to download AWS security and compliance documents, such as AWS ISO certifications, payment card industry, and system and organization control reports. You can use AWS Artifact agreements to review, accept, and track the status of AWS agreements, such as the Business Associate Addendum. Option B is incorrect. AWS Trusted Advisor provides recommendations that help you follow AWS best practices. Trusted Advisor evaluates your account by using checks. These checks identify ways to optimize your AWS infrastructure, improve security and performance, reduce cost, and monitor service quotas. You can then follow the check recommendations to optimize your services and resources. Option C is incorrect. Amazon Inspector is a vulnerability management service that continuously scans your AWS workloads for vulnerabilities. Amazon Inspector automatically discovers and scans Amazon EC2 instances and container images residing in Amazon Elastic Container Registry for software vulnerabilities and unintended network exposure. Option D is incorrect. AWS Well-Architected Tool can be used for architectural best practices and guidance. It cannot be used to download AWS security and compliance documents. Next question. Your company has purchased a software application with limited licenses, which will be deployed on EC2 instances. As an administrator, you want to be alerted when usage of the license is exceeded on Amazon EC2 instances. Which service can be used to meet this requirement? And the options are A. AWS Inspector, B. AWS Config, C. AWS Service Catalog, D. AWS License Manager. And the correct answer is option D. AWS License Manager. Explanation. AWS License Manager provisions and tracks license users across multiple AWS accounts and also on-premises environment. It helps to send an alert to an administrator when license usage exceeds the limit. AWS License Manager makes it easier to manage your software licenses from vendors such as Microsoft, SAP, Oracle, and IBM across AWS and on-premises environments. AWS License Manager lets administrators create customized licensing rules that mirror the terms of their licensing agreements. Administrators can use these rules to help prevent licensing violations, such as using more licenses than an agreement stipulates. Rules in AWS License Manager help prevent a licensing breach by stopping the instance from launching or by notifying administrators about the infringement. Administrators gain control and visibility of all their licenses with the AWS License Manager dashboard and reduce the risk of non-compliance, misreporting, and additional cost due to licensing overages. Independent software vendors can also use AWS License Manager to easily distribute and track licenses. Option A is incorrect. Amazon Inspector is a vulnerability management service that continuously scans your AWS workloads for vulnerabilities. Amazon Inspector automatically discovers and scans Amazon EC2 instances and container images residing in Amazon Elastic Container Registry for software vulnerabilities and unintended network exposure. Option B is incorrect. AWS config is used for evaluating configuration on the resources deployed in AWS Cloud. It doesn't track license uses across multiple AWS accounts. Option C is incorrect. AWS Service Catalog can be used to create and deploy portfolio of products within AWS infrastructure. Next question. Which service can be best suited to import third-party SSL or TLS certificates that can be used on Amazon Elastic Load Balancer? And the options are A. AWS Artifacts, B. AWS Secrets Manager, C. AWS Certificate Manager, D. AWS System Manager Parameter Store. And the correct answer is option C. AWS Certificate Manager. Explanation. AWS Certificate Manager is a service that lets you easily provision, manage, and deploy public and private secure sockets layer or transport layer security certificates for use with AWS services and your internal connected resources. SSL or TLS certificates are used to secure network communications and establish the identity of websites over the internet, as well as resources on private networks. AWS Certificate Manager removes the time-consuming manual process of purchasing, uploading, and renewing SSL or TLS certificates. Option A is incorrect. AWS Artifacts can be used to retrieve compliance-related information for AWS infrastructure. Option B is incorrect. AWS Secrets Manager can be used to implement secrets keys relation policy. Option D is incorrect. AWS Systems Manager Parameter Store can be used to store configuration data and passwords in encrypted or plain text. It cannot be used to store and import SSL or TLS certificates. Next question. Your company security team is looking for a way to offload SSL processing from existing web servers. Which service would be most suitable? And the options are A. AWS Certificate Manager, B. AWS Cloud HSM, C. AWS KMS, D. AWS Secrets Manager. And the correct answer is option B. AWS Cloud HSM. Explanation. AWS Cloud HSM is a managed hardware security model for generating and managing encryption keys on the AWS cloud. AWS Cloud HSM can be used for offloading SSL processing for web servers. In this case, SSL processing is done on AWS Cloud HSM instead of web servers, which reduces load on web servers. Option A is incorrect. AWS Certificate Manager can be used to store and provision SSL or TLS certificates. Option C is incorrect. AWS KMS is a managed service for encrypting data. It cannot be used for offloading SSL processing for web servers. Option D is incorrect. AWS Secrets Manager can be used to implement password rotation policy for secrets stored. It can also be used to manage and retrieve credentials or secrets which an application can use during its life cycle. AWS Secrets Manager is not suitable for offloading SSL processing. Next question. Your organization is building a mobile app that will be utilized by thousands of users. Which of the following AWS services can be used for creating a directory for managing sign-in for those users? And the options are A. Amazon Cognito User Pools, B. Amazon Cognito Identity Pools, C. AWS Single Sign-On, D. AWS IAM. And the correct answer is option A. Amazon Cognito User Pools. Explanation. A user pool is a user directory in Amazon Cognito. With a user pool, your users can sign in to your web or mobile app through Amazon Cognito. Your users can also sign in through social identity providers like Google, Facebook, Amazon, or Apple, and through SML identity providers. Option B is incorrect. Amazon Cognito identity pools are used to provide privileged credentials for accessing AWS services. Amazon Cognitive User Pools are used for authenticating users, while identity pools will provide authorization for accessing AWS resources. Option C is incorrect. AWS Single Sign-On is best suited for authenticating employees for accessing AWS services and is not useful for authenticating users to access mobile applications. Option D is incorrect. AWS IAM is used to control access to AWS services or resources. It is not suited for authenticating large numbers of users to mobile applications. Next question. When it comes to elasticity, which statement is correct? And the options are A. Minimize storage requirements by reducing logging and auditing activities. B. Create systems that scale to the required capacity based on changes in demand. C. Enable AWS to automatically select the most cost-effective services. And the correct answer is option B. Create systems that scale to the required capacity based on changes in demand. Explanation. The concept of elasticity is the means of an application having the ability to scale up and scale down based on demand. An example of such a service is the auto-scaling service. A, C are incorrect. Elasticity will not have positive effects on storage, cost, or design agility. Next question. Which of the following scenarios will be most appropriate for Amazon EC2 Spot instance uses? And the options are A. Workloads that are critical and need Amazon EC2 instances with termination protection. B. Workloads where the availability of the Amazon EC2 instances can be flexible. C. Workloads that need to run for long periods of time without interruption. D. Workloads that are only run in a specific time slot. And the correct answer is option B. Workloads where the availability of the Amazon EC2 instances can be flexible. Explanation. Spot instances are a cost-effective choice if you can be flexible about when your applications run and if your applications can be interrupted. For example, spot instances are well suited for data analysis, batch jobs, background processing, and optional tasks. Other options are incorrect. Spot instances can be terminated by Amazon depending on market prices. They cannot be guaranteed to run during a specific period of time. It will impact the workloads specifically when they are critical. Spot instances are a cost-effective choice if you can be flexible about when your applications run and if your applications can be interrupted. Thank you for watching this video. Buy our AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner CLF C01 premium questions with 50% off. Check link in the description.